So how are you supposed to deal with your divorce during the coronavirus crisis? I mean, everything is up for grabs. The whole world is changing. Everything is crazy right now. What are you supposed to do? I'm Karen Covey. I'm a divorce advisor, attorney, mediator, and coach. And I have to tell you, in all of the decades that I've been doing this, I never once dreamed that I would be sitting here talking to you about how to handle your divorce when we're going through a global pandemic. I mean, I don't think that was on anybody's radar screen. So when you ask, how do I get through this crisis while I'm going through a divorce, the answer is nobody's really sure. But the good thing is that I understand how the divorce system works. I understand how the legal system works. I've been working in the divorce arena for way longer than I care to admit. And so I kind of have a decent idea of where we might be going. Can't say for sure, but I can at least talk to you and give you some idea of what you might be expecting and how, more importantly, how you can handle it. What you can do now to help you manage the situation so that when the crisis is over, you'll be in the best position to move forward with your life. So, first question, how is the coronavirus crisis likely to affect a divorce? And the first answer is that courts across this country and actually all over the world are closed. And the only one who can divorce you is a judge. So what that means is that while all this is going on, chances are your divorce is going to be delayed. You can't get divorced while this is going on, and after it's all over, there's going to be a lot of people who need to get into the court, some on an emergency basis, some maybe not, but there's going to be a lot of people clamoring for the judge's attention. So the first thing that you need to do is take a deep breath, relax, and understand that things are going to take longer than you want, and there's nothing you can do about it. So this is one of those, if you can't change it, just let it be. That's what you've got to do when it comes to the delay. Know it's going to happen. Take a deep breath. You're going to make it through. The second way that this crisis is likely to affect your divorce is that not only are we all dealing with a health crisis, we're dealing with an economic crisis. The United States stock market just tanked. And people are, I'm no economist, but they're saying that we're going to be facing a recession. People don't know what's going to happen with their jobs. A lot of people aren't working right now, or they're working from home. Everything is crazy. What that means is that when this is all over, chances are that your financial situation may be different than it was when you started, which means that all of your financial information is going to have to be updated. Whatever your numbers were back before this started, they're probably going to be different once it's over. So again, you can't change that. Just know that it's coming, and that way you can be prepared for it. And the third way that this crisis might impact your divorce is that not only are your numbers going to have to be updated, but if you and your spouse had some idea of how you were going to settle everything, how things were going to be divided before in your divorce, chances are you're going to have to change that too. Maybe not. I don't know for sure. But if your entire economic situation has changed, then how you divide your property, who supports who, like what's child support, what's spousal support, all those kinds of questions, they might have changed too. And again, it's not optimal, and I know that. But the best thing you can do is be prepared for it and know that if your finances have changed, you may end up with a different divorce settlement than you would have a few weeks ago. And that's just the way it is. So knowing that those are the ways that this is likely to affect you, your question is, what can you do about it? And the first thing that you can do is, it depends, you got to assess your situation. So step number one, I guess, is assess your situation. Are you thinking about divorce, but you haven't sprung the news yet? So you're just not happy with your marriage, but you haven't done anything about it? Or are you in the situation where you've actually taken steps to move forward with a divorce, but you and your spouse are still living together? Or are you in the situation where you and your spouse are in your divorce, you're living separate and apart, and you were moving forward until all this happened? Where you're at makes a big difference. If you're in the situation where you were thinking about divorce, you weren't happy, but you hadn't broken the news yet. If you and your spouse are still living together, and you've got to get along, and you've got to be together 24/7 with nobody being able to go to work for the next who knows how long, breaking the news and saying, honey, I want a divorce, may not be your best choice. And I'm not saying that you should ignore how you feel or that you should cover it up or blah, blah, blah. That's not it at all. It's just you guys got to live together. And so you might want to think about that before you go and break the news and then have to stare at this person for the next who knows how long and deal with the aftermath of your decision. If you're in the situation where you've started your divorce but you're still living together, same kind of thing. You want to, in that case, you really want to focus on keeping the peace. Both of these first two situations, it might be hard. It might take every ounce of self-control that you have. That's okay. Do it. It's worth it. It's going to be better for you. It's going to be better for your kids. I mean, honestly, if you and your spouse are at each other's throat and your kids are there watching, that is the worst thing that you can do for your children. I mean, most people think that it's divorce that hurts kids, and it's true. Divorce doesn't do any favors for children. However, a lot of children don't do badly through divorce. What hurts them the most is conflict. So if you and your spouse are fighting, and especially if your kids can't get out of the house, they can't get away, and they're stuck seeing that, that's where you're going to mess them up. So for their sake, as well as your own mental health, while all this is going on, just suck it up, play nice, and try to keep the peace. So that's step number 2. But if you're in situation number 3, where you and your spouse are living separately, so you're not in each other's face all the time, then there's some other things that you can do too. And one of those things is to consider mediation. Even if you haven't been in mediation up to this point, mediators work outside of the court system. And most of the mediators that I know are willing to work virtually. So you and your spouse can both be in your houses on a video cam, and you can mediate your divorce that way. So if you really are, itching to get ahead and make some progress in your divorce, that might be one positive step that you can take. But fair warning. Remember what I said before, all of your financial information is likely to change. Your situation may change. So there's no sense in mediating stuff that you're going to have to change anyway. But if you have parenting issues, if you're trying to figure out a parenting schedule, if you're trying to figure out who makes decisions for your kids or what their life is going to look like after your divorce, those are situations and issues that you can mediate. So that's an idea. And another thing that you can do is, no matter whether you're living together or not, get your financial house in order. Take the time now to gather your information, put it in folders. If it's all digital, then you can put it in digital folders. But get yourself organized so that when the craziness is over, and it's going to be over, once this is all behind us, you'll be ready to roll and you'll be organized. You will feel so much better. So that's another positive step that you can take. And finally, the last positive step that you can take is to take care of yourself. And I know that's not a legal thing to do, but the truth is there's so much going on in the world. We're all under so much stress and living with so much uncertainty. You need to take care of yourself, because if you feel better, if you're stronger, you're going to be able to deal with all of whatever life throws at you right now so much better. So that means basic stuff. That means eating right. That means not eating a lot of junk. Eat good, solid meals and try not to pig out on the junk in the meantime. Get some exercise. Make sure you get enough sleep. As long as we can go out and get some fresh air, go take a walk. Get some fresh air. Do things to keep your own mental health on even and keep yourself as positive and happy as possible. I know that sounds basic, but it's going to make a huge difference in how you get through this time, which in turn is going to make a huge difference in how your divorce plays out when this is all over. The last thing I want to leave you with is, I know right now everybody is afraid. Everybody is confused about what's going on. No one knows how long this is going to last. No one knows what's going to happen. But we've all been through tough times before. We've been through economic downturns. We've been through downturns in the stock market. We've been through so much of this. Not a pandemic, okay, but we've been through a lot. Everybody has. And we've gotten through. And you're going to get through this too. You just need to relax, breathe, take everything one day at a time, and you will get through this. Honest. I wish you the best, and I'll talk to you next time.